Hey Kurt, this is Richard Wilson from Mad Shelley Films, and we have a message for you.
This is Mad Shelley Films, and you're listening to Inspirado, Projecto, Radio.
Astounding. Here I am on my way to the subway, and I just saw a car pass by, and it was crazy. The entire wallpaper, I guess if you want to call it, paint on the car, it was all someone's face. It was a woman's face all over the car, just all over the car. A whole bunch of her faces, big, little, just all like a collage of this same woman's face. And it was just really, really interesting. It made me wonder if the person driving the car was that woman. Basically, using her car as a marketing tool, basically because her headshot is on the car. Or maybe it's a very proud mother. This is my daughter, please hire her. There wasn't any information on the car, even. It was a wonderful life hack, if you will. Something that you just would never expect to see. There's no advertisement, no advertisement to speak of. Nothing that gave you the idea that this was someone you needed to contact. And it's interesting. That person with the car has no idea how they're affecting the populace. For instance, they have no idea that I'm now broadcasting this to you on my podcast. They have no idea. So they're driving places, and what if there is someone who wants to get a hold of them? Just for the sheer bravery of putting your own face, plastering it all over the side of the car. My next curiosity would be, what's your personality like? What are your expertises? What do you want to be? I mean, maybe it's a headshot of musician. Maybe she's just a phenomenal violinist. Maybe she's an actress. Maybe she wants to be in commercials. Shampoo commercials. She looked like she would have been a good shampoo commercial model. So if you're listening to this, to the person who has faces painted to the side of your car, to the top of your car. I mean, the car was covered in faces. Let's face it, people. The car was covered in faces. So if you're listening to this and you live out here in Los Angeles, and that's you, get a hold of me. Or if you know that person who did that, get a hold of me. Heck, if you live in another state, another town, another quadrant of the galaxy, get a hold of me here at inspiradoprojecto@gmail.com. Let me know your story. Do you have your face plastered to the side of your car, to your mobile? Maybe you got a motorcycle. Maybe, there was that TV show, the Orange County Choppers. I think that's what it was called. The father and the sons, they would make these customized choppers for people. Maybe I can imagine a company like that doing customized choppers like that for people who want to have their face all over their chopper. I'm sure they would find clever ways to get their face all over that chopper, The gas tank for sure. The wheels, you could put on some kind of hubcaps of some sort, I imagine. Now that's a question. Now that's something I didn't think about with the car. That would have been a good idea, putting the face on the hubcaps too. Interesting. Yeah, maybe you have one of those. Maybe you got a truck that's just got your face all over it, or your wife's face or something. Your very proud husband. This is my wife. This woman is my wife. And it's just something that is an issue of, it's a situation of just promoting your family. All right, more on this later. Talk to you more later. The next time I happen to see something intriguing, you will be the first to find out. I'm hoping that the guy who's on the on here, hold on, he'll come past again. Hopefully you can hear him. I've seen this guy on a number of occasions. He will walk up and down the aisles saying, a penny, a nickel, or a dime, anything you can spare change. And I've seen him on many occasions. And he usually says it's a blessing, and it's interesting when you see common folks around. It's like a celebrity sighting of sorts. There are a lot of those folks around that you come across paths with as you find yourself on various buses, trains, etc. I see some of this familiar faces, and it's like, oh, it's that guy again. Oh no, it's that lady. It's really quite interesting. It's really quite interesting.
Ooh, I forgot to tell you that I added a little bit of live Yachtly crew from the Canyon Club from your show a couple of weeks ago. I added it to the tail end of the Weed in Amsterdam episode, just so you know. You know how I am. I love mixing it all up. So I put some Yachtly crew in there with the galactic weed mix. What kind of brew am I concocting today?
Willie and I were just talking about Mad Magazine and how cool it was that Sergio Aragonés would always draw those little tiny little people up there all over in the corners of the pages and everything. And I don't know if Mad Magazine even realizes just exactly how much they have influenced the populace and teaching them a whole brand new way of looking at life with brand new perspectives, pulling back the veil on advertisements, pulling back the veil on celebrities, pulling back the veil on commercials, advertisements, all that stuff, and revealing to us what exactly is going on there. And then on top of that, teaching us to look for what's in the margins. And so Willie just said something amazing. I don't know if this would be like a good book. I don't know if this would be an album title. But can you just imagine always look for what's in the margins? Like, that's such a great way of looking at life in terms of just a lens, if you will, because it's more than a lens. It's the stuff that's hiding outside of the lens. Yeah. You know, you're looking through it with the lens, but then what's in addition to hiding around in the corners?
It would be within the margins being the title.
Or hiding within the margins.
Hiding within the margins.
I love it. Yes. Yeah, because then it's like what are those little invisible ghosts, or what are those little invisible apparitions that are kind of like clinking around up there, going, "Hey, pay attention to me."
No, we can't. Yeah, we don't know that are there.
Yeah.
Are you podcasting?
Oh yeah, I am. What are your thoughts about the margins?
The Martians or the
margin? About the margins or the Martians? What do you notice?
Are we talking about?
Right. So with poetry and stuff, do you think it's important to stay within margins?
Poetry?
Yeah, poetry, any kind of prose.
No, I think that you should write poetry that moves you and make art that moves you.
Do you, now, in terms of margins, do you keep those words in the margins?
Yeah, well, that's just because it makes it easier to read.
I love it.
Generally speaking.
That's
Did you ever write about Martians within the margins?
That's
No, I
right.
don't.
The Martians within the margins.
I leave that to Kurt.
The Martians within the margins. Do you see the Martians within the margins? Martians within the margins. That is good. That could be the name of the musical. Martians in the margins. But within the margins. Now that would be a good... Would that be a good band name? Would that be a good song title? Would that be a good movie? All the above. Within the margins. Audiobook.
Well, it could be any of the above. I mean, it could be a book turning into a movie or vice versa.
Ooh, a virtual
Write the
reality
book,
game
write
too.
Yeah. I
Within
mean,
the
it's such a
margins.
broad statement. It's such a broad.
Yeah.
You know, it could be so many different things.
It's so crazy because it's like so imagine, like when you think of the margins, you're actually thinking of, like I think of a page, like here's the page, here are the margins, the notebook paper where you see the little boundaries on the sides there. What's interesting is when you take away the page, the aspect of the page, and just having, let's say if we're standing outside of the van instead of looking through the window, it'd be funny because it's like, okay, what are the margins in that instance? Is it just as far as the eye can see, or as far as the senses can sense?
It's beyond that.
It's beyond it.
It's beyond that. It would be beyond. It could be the unsaid words in a relationship. It could be
hiding the margins.
As simple as ideas that you can't think of that you're waiting to bestow upon your brain.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there, out of your reach, but they're right in front of you.
It's interesting because as we strive to look for it, it will always strive to be found. It's a game of hide and seek, as Alan Watts calls it.
Absolutely.
It's kind of waiting to be found. It's like,
I like that.
When you're playing hide and seek, you love hiding for a long time. However, eventually you're hoping someone's going to find you in some strange respect, right?
Not unless I find a really comfortable spot and I want to sleep for a couple hours and be out.
It's good. I remember I'd play hide and seek with my friends. I was always the last to be found. They'd get so tired of looking for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're never finding me, bub. You're never finding. And it was just such a fun thing. But eventually, you think that at some point you want to be found, and I think that's the same kind of thing with the universe that hides these little tiny things out there, little Easter eggs. And
Wow, this is deep.
we almost kind of have to first decide to search for it before we find it. It's so interesting.
Yes.
It simultaneously exists
This
at
is
this.
Yuma. This is where we're playing in March.
Oh, gotcha.
Right here? This is
Yuma. Right here at the the Carl's Jr. parking lot.
Subway. We're playing at the Subway.
We're playing at the Subway.
Yuma's further
Gonna
south.
do some
Really
busking.
good fresh jerky. Woo!
It's the
All right.
25th anniversary of the Meatball Sub.
That's
Bro,
right.
Yuma's
That's
like
right.
2 hours south of here.
Yeah, this is not you.
I wonder if that Subway ever works with the fresh
that's the
turkey
road to
place
go to
and makes
Yuma.
unique sandwiches. That'd be pretty interesting.
Jerky sandwich.
Sandwiches. Hiding within the margins. I think that's so
literally
cool
like
because
on
it's
the
like,
border of Mexico.
I had this creative writing class one time that taught us to look outside of, so you imagine a room. You start with a room that you're imagining, and then you're going, okay, let's widen the scope. What's outside of the house? What's outside of that place that you're thinking of? And all of a sudden now your mind fills in a blank. It's like, oh, I didn't know there was a person riding a unicycle outside, or oh wow, I didn't see that. Someone's climbing in the tree, or oh wow, someone's digging a hole in the front yard. It's like all these things become apparent as you're going.
It could be an understanding of how media works today and how the focus on the lens, focusing on one thing, is not exactly the whole picture. The bigger picture could be outside of those lines.
And you know what? And I love that because that reminds me of there's been this idea for a long time that I've wanted to do where you have a movie and yet way in the background there's an untold story. There's strange little stories going on. So maybe in this scene here that's going on, a comedy scene or whatever, or some scene in the foreground, you see way in the background these people doing a magic trick, or you see someone do a cartwheel, or and then it's like, oh, interesting. I wonder, and then maybe later on in the movie again, you see that same kind of thing happening in the background. So it's almost like showing these little tiny
bits and pieces of another story.
Yeah,
sub-story.
Yeah, so it's almost like, oh, look over here. Here's this little kind of thing, and it's kind of giving that idea that just the whole environment is kind of alive, and it's fun when you can do that for people. Like I always love finding the Easter eggs, so I think I love hiding them as much as I love finding them.
Yeah.
Do you like to find Easter egg type things?
Yes, and I also like to hide them as well. I think I like hiding them more than I like finding them. Because it's, I don't know, the enjoyment of it. Finding them sometimes, it's nice. And it's satisfying, but...
Aha.
I don't know, I like the not tricking, but like the
prankster-ish, the mischievousness of it.
I think it's the wrong
playfulness of it.
Yes.
Like a scavenger kind of mystery. The mystery of
it. Love the mystery.
You know, interesting. It's kind of like, in a sense, that's like hide and seek, because you're hiding those, and someone has to not even realize that they're seeking them in order to find them. In a sense, isn't that interesting? They stumble over them.
It's very true.
You know, their intuition leads them in that direction. It's so cool. It's like your intention reaching out, going, I intend someone to find this, and bam, and then someone out there picks up that intention. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, what's this over here? And then their intention leads them over there and goes, wow, now I found this thing.
Yeah.
I got the signal. I picked up on a signal.
And it might not even be the original thing that you planted, but they found something else in it too.
And it's funny, because do you feel that like the Easter egg kind of like art form, so to speak, is kind of a very patient kind of art form?
Say that again?
Would you consider it a patient art form?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to be. You don't want to give it away.
Right.
And sometimes that's hard to do when you plant something.
Yeah.
To not be staring at it or not be like pointing your finger at it.
Yeah. It's that idea of planting a seed, trusting it's going to grow, whether you're looking at it or not. And then maybe one day you return, or the news gets back to you, like, oh yeah, there's an apple tree that grew out there, and boy, was that delicious. And you realize, oh wait, where was that apple tree? Oh, right over here near there. I think that was the one I planted. It's
just a good one. I like that.
You know, it's like, wow, cool. I'm glad that the fruits, they bore fruit, you know, and it worked.
Yeah. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes you just plant things and walk away, and you'll never find out.
It's like a message in a bottle.
And that's almost satisfying in itself, knowing that you'll never really know.
Yeah. There's something just, and so then it's like the story you walk away with yourself is, I wonder if someone will find that. Who is that person who might find it? What's their life going to be like? How will this thing that they find affect their lives? But will they go on to create some kind of thing now? Will they will they be inspired to go hide an Easter egg? It reminds me of geocaches. Are you aware of geocaches?
Yes.
Do you ever look for them?
I have not, but I'm aware of what they are.
So there's like a site, and there's particular, apps and whatnot that people can find these things. And that's part of the fun, is like you can hide these things in something the size of an Altoid box, the size of a coffee can. I mean, as big as you want.
Yeah.
And just the idea of, I think you put them on the site, the longitude and latitude, is that how it goes?
I think so. I think that's how they just put those numbers up, and you got to go search for it.
Yeah, and then maybe clues, like as to kind of how to get them.
I think they even have I think they even have like sites with like like a maps type thing, kind of like give you the general area but don't tell you exactly where it is.
Oh my God, what a fun thing! And then when you find that thing, then you keep what's inside of it, and then you leave something there for the next person.
Yep.
Which is just such a great idea. It's a whole idea of reciprocation.
Yeah. It's kind of like the take a book, leave a book thing. Where, you ever see some people's houses, they have, have a little housing, and they have a book there, you take the book and you leave a book.
Dude, absolutely.
Kind of like a way of sharing,
It really is, with unseen people.
You'll never really know who's grabbing,
Yeah.
Unless you're sitting there watching them.
I love it. The very thing itself that you're tuning into and tapping into is just simply the idea of sharing. How cool is that? That's
cool.
The thing that you're really communing with. And if someone finds it, or you hear, word of it, then it's just a secondary thing. Right? Then it's a secondary excitement that you never intended. Or expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we heard a couple of really good songs. What were the name of those songs that we heard on the radio earlier? And the band, and what your part was in making that music?
Wait, today?
We heard it. Well, was it last night? You had two songs.
Name of song. The first one that we listened to was called "There's a Way," and it was just about. Really nice grooving song that's just about, hey, being with a girl and that she's not like interested in a full-on relationship, but things have been going well, and just kind of saying, hey, if things don't go to fruition now, that there's always time, there's a way later in time that this can get back together.
And that's what's the name of that one?
There's a Way.
There's a Way. That was such a good song. And then what was the other song you played?
It was called More Than Met the Eye, and that one was specifically about Alec wrote that it was a girl that he's back with, but that he felt that he took advantage of in a way, like not like advantage, but just like more of like a took her for granted. And then he realized after that, hey, oh my God, this girl was awesome for me. And I really kind of screwed the pooch on that one, and that's the whole story. Like that's the song is just saying, hey, letting her know, you know.
Can you imagine that these, because I'm imagining already a story could brew just from these two things. Like this could be about the same person, you know, either with the same relationship or different relationships. But I'm imagining, you know, this could be like almost like a concept album. Like it follows sort of the storyline.
And all of them do. All of them kind of have very similar subject matters. It could be a concept album, but
Is that idea never interested you?
No, I love concept albums. But I think in order, if you're doing a concept album, that you do a concept album instead of just putting things together to create the concept. I like the opposite of creating the concept and then writing to the concept.
Right.
But I mean, it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason, or there's no like same thing with writing a song. You don't.
So you just want to. You would prefer just to have an idea in mind. Okay, this is my beginning, middle, and end. Okay, this is how we're getting to that journey.
Yeah.
Rather than it accidentally sort of falls into a.
That's how I personally like to do it. But you know what? There's no right or wrong, and sometimes the other way is better. You know, sometimes just random things fit together.
How long does it usually take for you to write a song? On average.
Me, I mean, I anywhere from 5 minutes to 3 months. You know, it could be. It doesn't. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer, just because some things just take forever, and some things go, wow, I have this whole entire song that I just literally just played through and through, right from start to scratch, and never thought anything about it.
Do you feel that it's like? Do you feel? Like a great satisfaction when you feel like you've put all the puzzle pieces together?
Absolutely. I mean, that's
solved the mystery.
That's why. Why you know. That's why I do what I do, just because of that satisfaction on the post of it.
Now, do you also do all the sound engineering on it?
Yes. Well, I didn't know. Alec, in this particular band, he wrote majority of the material. I have my material that I will be adding to the picture, but all these that we did when we started, and I joined up with him, and then I was enjoying his music so much, and I was like, hey, I want to do this with you. Let's record what you have. And he's got a plethora of songs that are more together, and I have a bunch that I have. But my songs, I write a little bit more of a different genre, or what I've been writing, and I have now stuff that I'm going to add on and start recording for this project. But everything that we've been hearing so far, it was his babies.
Wow. So do you have your own? I'm sure you must also have kind of your own riffs and your own stuff that you've
tons and tons.
Do you have some of those recorded too, where people can find them?
Well, no, they're on a hard drive. Yeah, I don't.
When do you think you're going to release those?
Oh, soon. No, they're the next set of songs. Like, so we went in and we did 8.
Oh, so you guys took turns writing songs. You guys sort of shared.
Yeah. That's what we did. His first 8. And then I have about 4 that are ready to go.
Oh, that's cool.
This particular genre.
It'd be interesting to hear these, you know, and go, okay, who wrote what? You know, to hear if there are similar melodic things that are common.
There are. When writing this stuff, because the other stuff that I write for is another band that I have called Brew, and that's more of my
BREW,
with umlauts over the E.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
But
brilliant.
Yeah, and that one's more of like a little bit more of a hard rock.
How many people are in that band?
Just me. I play everything.
Like you're like the Trent Reznor.
Yeah, but less electronic-y. I'm just going for more like raw.
Whoa. What if you could place that kind of music in a movie or a TV show? What would you imagine it to be?
Hopefully something of like a drama thriller.
Drama thriller, like what? Someone getting chased, a car speeding. What kind of imagery comes to mind?
You go like kind of like a Sin City-ish type of feel.
City-ish. Ooh,
Sin City.
Oh, Sin City. Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like like that whole, you know, where it's a bit of action but thrillery and drama-ish.
Do you like? When you say Sin City, what elements of it are you like particularly imagining? Like the cartoon animation type aspect, more of just the type of characters.
Type of characters Well, the Mickey Rourke's character comes to mind.
Oh, like a detective kind of thing?
Mickey Rourke was not the detective. He was like the big bruiser basher.
That's right.
But then, that's one thing that I have, and then the next one I have is called The Moves.
The what?
The Moves.
The moves. How do you spell that?
Moves.
Ooh,
Moves.
that's cool.
And the Moves, more of like a. That's more of like dancey, kind of like a Prince-esque.
If that was to end up in a movie, because you never know how these things will, what directions they'll take or anything.
Yeah.
If you were to imagine that kind of movie, that kind of music in a movie or a TV show, what could you imagine?
That'd be a straight dance scene, like a Purple Rainish, like really go like
an 80s vibe. Is this like vaporwave?
Yeah.
Vaporwave.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Keep trying to make like a new feel to it, but yeah, it's
so like breakdancing.
Not that far.
Tron.
Think of like a Little Red Corvette.
Little Red Corvette. That's good. Yeah. So that kind of production design.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not trying to like reinvent a wheel or anything or copy Prince, but like that's kind of the general.
So, but a movie like that kind of movie or TV show. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. That's cool.
Cool Hand Luke type thing, or
Oh, like a what? A western?
Cool Hand Luke was a no. There was another one, and it might. I think I got the name wrong, but no, it was not a western. It was like more of like a. I'm gonna say this word wrong. Noir type. Movie.
Cool World. Was it? Oh no, that was an animation, wasn't it?
Let me.
Oh, that was actually. I think that was like a Roger Rabbit type of movie. Yes. Brad Pitt was in there.
That's what.
Is that the one?
I think so. I'm looking it up now.
Like a cross between that, like animation and live action.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would be great. I would love to get back to that. The 2D animation, that type.
3. I mean 2. Yeah. Do like the Roger Rabbit type thing.
Yeah. That was always interesting to me. That kind of stuff.
It was a 3D world with 2D characters. It was really neat how they kind of meshed them together.
That's right. They did give the idea. Ooh, I like that effect. I like that effect rather than a computer generated.
Yeah, CGI. Completely.
Like a Yoda through CGI Yoda, basically, right? It's instead of that, it's like it's 2D, yet it gives the idea that it's 3-dimensional. That's cool.
Yeah.
What other kind of projects are you involved in?
I have a psychedelic band with a guy from a group called No Motive, and it's called Push Down and Turn. And that's just wacky. I don't know if it was...
Mr. Bungle?
Yeah. But less screamy. More dancey on the dancier side of Mr.
Okay. Is it more experimental?
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just like... It's just we're just getting wacky with it.
What kind of like movies or TV shows could you imagine that music being in?
I don't know, one with a lot of acid.
like a movie like Easy Rider or something, where people go on some kind of like peyote trip or something.
Nah, that's more of like that's still. More. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know what we like. We don't think we really write that for a specific movie. I don't think there's anything in mind visually. It's more.
I'd love to hear any of this music,
audible weird,
Yeah.
Just weird melodies kind of thrown on top of each other, and then with these crazy harmony lyrics that are like weird harmonies, and it's all doesn't make sense, but it comes together and makes a song.
That's incredible.
It makes sense listening to it, but it doesn't make sense making it.
Oh, right. So you're kind of would you say you're just kind of giving yourself over to a spirit? You're kind of just like channeling it?
Yeah.
We need to be able to have that kind of art.
I mean, that's between what Jeremy and I do. Yeah, it's just kind of like, well, sit down. Here's a beat. Let's make this beat. Or hey, there's this bass line that kind of melodic.
And I think that's important to be able to have that kind of project to work on, because a lot of times people stiffen up too much, and become, and I'm putting serious in quotes. It's like art should not have to be a serious thing. It should be playful all the time. What's so funny is when it's playful and it's fun, that's when the ideas tend to brew up a lot more.
And that's what this is. This is like, it's just a a completely hidden in the margin type of thing,
I
where it's
love
like
it.
the whole entire thing's in the margin.
Ooh, that's good.
You know,
That could be
there's
the
nothing.
soundtrack for Hidden in the Margins.
All right.
Movie. That would be great, dude.
There's the movie.
There it is. There's the movie and there's the soundtrack. I would like to listen to some of that music sometime, and then I can
you know
we
what,
can conjure
when-
up some imagery, see what kind of comes out.
for the next trip around. I'll get some of that archive stuff out. I'll let
Can you also email it to me? Would that be all right?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because I'd love to listen to it and see what kind of images.
I'd have to clean it up a little bit.
Oh no!
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
wouldn't share it with anyone or anything. You know, I just
Yeah,
I just like to,
yeah. Absolutely.
Just anything that is raw. You know, I really like the raw stuff too.
I have about 13
Riffs and
tracks,
just any-
13 tracks of brew. I have
Wow.
about 6 tracks of the moves. Wow. And that there's just with Jeremy and I that we've actually put together, there's only one, but there's a lot of ideas of just random stuff that hasn't been together with that group. But that's like such a far out thing doing with him, and he's such a cool dude and such an open-minded individual that it's fun working with that guy, because he brings some really awesome aspects, and he has a real outside of the box vision of life. So
That's cool. So to infuse that into the music is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Wow. What other projects you got? So it just sounds like you're like an octopus of music projects.
see, Bad Leaf, Brew, The Moves, Push Down and Turn. After that, that's all. That's my projects. After that, I am working in a week or two with a metal band, and I'm not sure what their name is. I haven't got the name, but I know the guy is the one that called me up. I think it's the band Tongue, because he's in that band, but it might not be. It might be a different band. He's also got like 3 or 4
amazing
bands.
how musicians just are a part of. It's just neat to see
You know, it's like early on, you know, it's always like you're in one band, this band only, and you can have no other bands near you. And then as you get older, you know, you just realize you got to put yourself out there and everything, because you know, unless that one thing took off and it's really, you know, it's the breadwinner, you get lost in something that's not going to, you know, satisfy you or make a, you know, essentially it's not like you want to be rich, but you do want to make a living off of, or at least a substantial amount of putting out material and it coming back, and you know, you not having to really go ham on like 9-to-5 job, and then like, you know, you want to be able to do something so you can hone your craft and be able to present this craft to the best of your ability at all times and as much as you can.
Well, and plus you're helping people do this with your studio. What's the name of your studio? Do you have a website for this where people can contact you?
Arkive, and I am making the website as we speak. It's Arkive Studio is the .com.
Is there a Facebook or anything?
There's a Facebook.
Oh, good.
Arkive Studios.
Just ARKIVE?
ARKIV.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
ARKIV.
Yes, it's me and my business partner John Spaven, who is a amazing engineer, and that dude is highly talented. We have very similar mixing patterns that we do, which is really cool to find somebody that like mixes and
cool.
treats the music like I do. So like you know, when we talk about doing things for the studio, we have very common goals, you know, which is comforting, because a lot of people, you know, it's hard when you, especially when you have like you spending like all of your money, extra money into it, to have somebody that's not like, I want to do this and this and this. It's like, what do we need to do? Oh, we both agree we need to get this done, and we both go for that goal.
That's
really
great. Cool. So, I think it's great. Archive, because then it's like it's like Noah's Ark. It's like you're bringing all this, you know, in a symbolic, metaphorical way. You're bringing all of these creatures under the same kind of, you know, whoosh,
and documenting them and bringing them to where they need to go.
It's really cool, dude. So, yeah, everybody, all of you musicians, keep your ears out for Arkive. What do they just search for on Facebook? For
Arkive, ARKIVE. You'll see.
Will that be the only one that pops up?
It'll be the only one that pops up, and the logo is a pair of headphones and a tie.
Oh, good, very good.
Yeah, Eric's like a weird dude.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hello there. My name is Kent Huckey. Yes, you heard that correctly. Kent Huckey. Pleasure to meet you. Once again, I am Kent Huckey. Huckey. We're in the town of Blythe right now.
Love you.
At the Best Western. It's so funny because I woke up and I'm talking to Paulie, and all of a sudden he just starts talking, and I'm wondering who the heck is he talking to? And I suddenly realized he's actually talking to his son through his doorbell. And the little guy is he's 5 years old, and he's just walking. He's walking away, and Paulie's shouting to him, "Have a great day." And I'm sitting there thinking, this is so crazy. He's talking to his kid through the doorbell. And then, we just walked past the van, and Will was in there. Will slept in there.
Here. Oh.
We have here Will. So I'm going to point to the evidence right now. Paulie's taking a photo of me standing in front of is this video? We're also simulcasting on Inspirado Projecto. He just took some footage of me standing in front of the van. Will is inside, sleeping. He was watching the van for us, and we woke him up.
You want to do Starbucks first? McDonald's first.
But McDonald's has coffee, though.
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, we could just eat in there, and then we'll go get it. How about that? Why don't we just eat there?
Eat at Starbucks.
Well,
Eat at
McCrab Hole.
Where are we going?
McCrab Hole.
Eat at
Oh, dude, look it. There's a sign that says courtesy. Okay, I'm going to see if I can
Golden-
simultaneously take a picture of this.
Eat at the Golden Arches. The Golden Arches, Denny's.
We'll see. Denny's, the Golden Arches.
And I got such a long way to go.
Such a long way to go.
So give me my egg cheese McMuffin, yo. So I walk
like a turtle. Walk like a turtle.
Hobson Way.
Got such a slow way to go.
And Lovekin Boulevard.
We've got Hobson Way, ladies and gentlemen, and what's that other one? Lovekin. Dude, what the hell?
Oh,
She lives on Lovekin.
you're gonna die.
I don't know. It looks like people will wait for us. So there's a park right over here called Gateway Park. And what's crazy is it's like something you'd see with druids. There's like a middle...
Jaywalk, Stony Shores.
I'm fine with that. There's this is like something you'd see like in the video game Skyrim, or like back in the medieval days. It looks like one of those things for druids, and you it's like a fire pit. Like there's a circle in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. It did turn green. There's no walk sign, but I'm going.
Go!
That was one of the fastest lights I've seen. Man, that was crazy. We pushed the button and everything. There was no walk signal. We were living on the edge right there. So it's just so crazy because, I just woke up. This rarely happens where I just wake up and all of a sudden I'm talking like this. Paulie woke up saying that he's going to get food, and then I decided to go with, and it's just nuts, man. Just that idea of talking to kids through the doorbells, and then he was talking to his entire family through the doorbell. And I thought, how funny would that be? As the kid goes to school and he's telling his friends that the doorbell talked to him that day. And so I just imagine like this idea, almost like I don't know, maybe there's a service. I don't know, maybe there's a service. It's kind of like a singing telegram, but you give the service like access to your doorbell somehow. And you can actually tell maybe for like a week. Maybe they tell jokes each morning as you're leaving. They're telling you a joke a day. Every time the doorbell's rung, a joke is told. And maybe you call it Dr. Doorbell or trivia. Yeah, let's see. Something that you could do, play on words with doorbell. Knock, knock, knocker. Like knock, knock, jokes, knocker.
Who's there?
There it is. Maybe it's called maybe you just call it knock, knock, who's there? And it's the joke company. People are there at the door. You tell them a joke. Huh, simple. Doorway comedy.
When is a door not a door?
When it has no handle. It's got glass and it's a window.
Inspirado Projecto Radio. This is Man. You can call me on my hotline 313-MAN 0231 313-MAN 0231. Leave a voicemail on the hotline. Anything about technology, artificial intelligence, simulated realities. Take care, bro.
Here we are at the Best Western in Blythe, and in the motel room, there's a notepad, and on it said "Note to Self," which then led me to the idea of making a movie or some kind of short skit or something called "Note to Self," and it's about someone who. Remember that there was a TV show long ago called Dear John? And you go, Dear John. And apparently it was about some lady who left a guy, and then that was Judd Hirsch. And then Judd Hirsch was just sad and, feeling lonely and stuff. This would be that kind of thing where it's like, that TV show, it would show the note being written. And this would be kind of the same thing. You'd see the note being written, but it would say, Note to self. I got to say something now in my note to self. So yeah, note to self. I just had this idea for a company called Frankenstein. And what you do is... you have stencils of all shapes and sizes that look like Frankenstein, like the old Universal kind of Frankenstein. And so you basically, it's like a stencil, and it's for the people who love Frankenstein. And so it reminds me of the let's say kind of like the Portlandia skit, where in it they're like, put a bird on it. So in a sense, it's like the person's like, I can Frankenstein that. This wall, I really like this wall, but it just looks so bland. Frankenstein it. Hey, this is a cool t-shirt, but really needs a little something. Frankenstein it. I've always wanted a tattoo, but I'm not sure if I should. Frankenstein it. Hey, I just got a brand new car. It's kind of cool, but it's missing that special something. Frankenstein it. Hey, how do I keep my parking space without someone stealing it? Frankenstein it. So the whole thing is about Frankensteining it, as one can guess. All shapes and sizes. Frankensteins. Ladies, oh my God, the bush is talking. Oh. How cool was that? All these crazy. I saw Cheech and Chong. I saw freaking. I saw the Grateful Dead Bear. I love that, the Grateful Dead Bear. I saw. Oh my God.
What was my favorite?
I saw Elvis. I was so happy to see Elvis. No, there was a Dave Chappelle.
But no, he dressed up as the guy that's like.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh wait,
Tyrone Biggins, the one that's like. You got some crack? You know what I'm talking about?
So he was dressed as that character?
He had the hat. He had the fucking slacks with the radio. He had the chopped up. Dude. Yo, he was on point. He looked just like him, bro.
Oh my God.
I gotta show you a picture. He was on the last cruise too. He did it again this cruise.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Well, the Macho Man guy, oh gosh. What is his
Macho
name?
Man, yeah.
Dude, he says every year, he's like,
Yup, he does that every
his
year.
wife was like, it was born out of a mistake, basically. She's like, wow, you look like Macho Man. And as he looked at himself, he says, as he looked at himself in the mirror with his glasses on, he's like, wow, dude, I really do look like Macho Man. So then he decided to start dressing like Macho Man on the ship. Dude, there were the nights where he was out there and he had his fake muscle shirt on. And Macho Man like holds his hands in this weird way, just it's just weirdly like, so he could show off all the muscles. He was sitting down. He had his glasses. He's going like this. He's going,
oh my gosh.
and he would move his hand. He'd move his glasses.
The same way he did.
And he looked animatronic, and I had such a hard time, I almost wet my pants. I would warn people, when I was out there, I'd be like, dude, do not look at Macho Man Randy Savage. I warn you, you'll get caught in a vortex. Because he was sitting there, and anytime he noticed someone watching him, he'd be like,
start entertaining him.
oh yeah. Dude, so he was going snap into his Slim Jim.
Oh my God.
And he was throwing these out, dude.
Yo, he's fucking hilarious. Bro.
2 days ago, I was wondering, oh my God, that would be hilarious if he actually starts handing out Slim Jims. And sure enough, he has a freaking pockets of them, dude. He's just going, oh yeah, snap his two Slim Jim, and he's throwing it.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, freaking Macho Man. Oh my God, I was so impressed. And then Iron Sheik was there. So there's Iron Sheik and Randy Savage, and they're like, rah, 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 yelling at each other. Oh my God, that was great.
They must have planned that, though, too.
My God, dude, they had to have. I saw 2 sets of Rick and Morty.
Oh, I seen that.
I saw
the 2 dinosaurs. You seen that?
Oh my God, that was hilarious, dude. Seen the dinosaurs like a big like Muppet head, yeah. Oh yeah, the wobbly head, dude. I couldn't stop laughing every time.
To his little hands.
Oh my God, dude. Little hands, big wobbly head.
Oh my God.
That is insane.
There was a lot of cool shit on the boat. I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of good ones, man.
Something that was
Can't remember. You were just sailors like you guys, but I was tatted up. I had tattoo over my face.
Oh, dude, that's great. Oh my God, that's great.
It was too funny. I had like a little sailor anchor.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, all of us did it. We all had little anchors on our fish. She did it. He did it.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
He was the captain too of our crew.
Oh my God, that's great.
I think you guys were taking pictures in headphone disco.
So you guys, did you know that Yachtly Crew was playing when you guys dressed like that? So you just planned on doing that. You already just planned it beforehand, and bam. Dude, another amazing magic moment from the universe. How cool is that? Oh my God. This whole trip has just been filled with magic moments.
For sure, man.
The whole thing.
And I saw the guitars. I don't want to go back to reality, man. I'm just chilling.
Dude.
Dude, you have a Korean guy.
It's crazy because look, here we've come back. We pull in a port, I see the buildings.
I know.
We drive through, there's all the traffic. There are all these rules and regulations. It's like the only rule that I think was followed by everybody was simply the golden rule, being respectful of each other. And
that shit's out the window once we get out the cruise.
Well, it's great. Once you're on the cruise, it's funny because people are encouraged to be crazier and crazier. Because I think what happens is
each person understands how enriching the experience is, so they want to help enrich other people's experience. And so, they might wear some crazy beads or some psychedelic-looking shirt or something. There's this guy who had a crazy pattern. It was almost like a morph suit. With this crazy pattern, blue and stuff, but it had like art from Rick and Morty on it.
Oh, it had art.
So he looked like this weird like vortex creature. It was so interesting, man.
Oh shit, I didn't see that one.
Him and his buddy, they both had like really interesting. I mean, it looked like it was crazy, man. Then there's like this voodoo priestess. Did you see her?
That one.
Oh my god, she was great. I think her husband was a voodoo guy. Yeah, he had like a blinking skull mask on. They both had these big staffs.
Yeah, that one I've seen.
Dude, that was so cool.
I'm trying to remember, man. There was a lot of good shit. It's just like a blur because I got so drunk and high.
Sharing that experience with man. I wasn't there. But after being on the cruise,
there was, I think, like 3 people with this crazy costume where they, those costumes where it's like an optical illusion?
Yeah.
So he was, it was his head, and it went into sort of like a costume of like a little body that was being held by a big green alien.
Oh, yeah.
So behind him was this huge big green alien.
He was on the shoulder.
Yeah. So it looked like it was like, and so it was like such a weird optical illusion. And the more you sort of like, just sort of blurred your eyes and sort of believed in it, the more it was actually like, dude, that's really happening. It was so great, dude. It's like a big green alien. He's like, yeah.
Just holding them.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
That one was hilarious. There was a guy that had a dick on his head. He was a dick.
Oh my god. Did you see the guy with? Did you see the guy that had the big middle finger for the face? Yeah. Oh my god, dude, it's so. Oh yeah, that's what it was. You saw that one? Yeah.
That one was good.
Oh my god.
How you guys living?
Dude, just absolutely incredible.
Oh man.
Every corner you turned, there were no wrong decisions really on that thing. It was just like, okay, where do I want to go here? And that's the crazy thing. You have to get over that hump of feeling that you're missing out on something, or that something better is happening elsewhere.
There was always time for something.
I know. There was
always something going on, no matter what. Whether you were hanging out in an elevator and people are singing crazy songs with the silent disco, or just sitting on the steps and all of a sudden someone, dressed as toothpaste, comes walking along, sits next to you, talks to you about gingivitis, and it's just like, dude, this is awesome. This is amazing. Where else can you go where, Cheech and Chong are hanging out?
Did you remember to brush your teeth?
Anyhow. Oh my god.
Christmas food?
Somebody dressed up as
Did you remember to brush your teeth? Brush them twofers. Better scrub them twofers.
And then. No, I was just telling a homeboy here that I thought it was so beautiful that, like a Gonzo Motley said.
Oh my god.
You have northern Mexican music being played. The drummer's Korean.
Oh my god.
He's fucking going that.
Oh my god.
And you see all these people from the Midwest, Alabama, Deep South, they're fucking getting down to it. And I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. This is what music's all about, man. It brings different cultures. You don't know what the fuck you're listening to, but for whatever reason, it's making you like move around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I still
and I'm like, I love it, dude. I recorded that shit last night. That shit was badass.
I love that the drummer, he took his snare drum with him, and they disappear for a moment, and then they come out in them. Oh my god, that's like something you see in movies where it's like in the middle of like Tahiti.
They've done that for like 15 years.
It's like this big freaking parade, but it's right.
So they say this. They say
did the Stardust. They didn't start out on stage, dude. They came through the crowd. They're like,
and they say it in Spanish, so they go, ya se fue. So they just left. And that's all it is.
I love it.
And they just fucking go and they do
it's like a little secret code.
But it's badass because you have all these different cultures just like, yeah, for sure. Just melting together, dude. Everyone loves the music. I'm like, there's no politics. There's no racial
Dude, I didn't once hear anybody using any sort of friction. It was just pure, just easy going, easy flowing the whole entire time.
I played trumpet.
Didn't take too many drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some people that were getting out of hand. You're like, come on, man.
Really?
Have your wits about
Dude,
you.
people were dropping acid, man, like LSD, shrooms, fucking Molly, all sorts of shit.
Dude, there was fucking DMT.
DMT, I can't imagine DMT, dude.
Somebody gave me here, dude, so I had too many things. And so I went and engaged the right people, the right things. I was giving out mushrooms and fucking candy.
Here, 2 caps for you, 3 stamps for you.
Well, no, so I capsuled them all up. So
oh, you grinded it up in the capsule?
And just one of them was perfect, dude. My recipe, when I was just trying to take it easy, I was like, one little capsule, because it's 1/7 milligram of mushroom. And eat some food, and then go to a show. And it was fucking rad. And even like small-weighted women, I give them 1 capsule, dude, and it's not too much. Like, I'm so good at dosing people. It's stupid.
So you're like a doctor,
dude,
of sorts.
Shaman, dude, somebody was telling me, like, he's like, you should fucking really, like, put an ad out and be a shaman, dude, because I'm so good at it. Like, I know how to, like, bring people up, and if they're not having a good time, I know how to fucking level them out, dude. How do I get paid to do this?
You could totally do that, man.
I don't know how.
I mean,
How do I
just
do
if
it?
you do it, okay, imagine if you just approach it like a joke. Like, just like, as if it's just like, what the hell, let's just try it. It's so silly, it just might happen. What the heck, let's just do it. And when you treat it like an experiment, and you don't have that attachment of like, oh, it's got to happen, because if it doesn't, I'm going to feel so disappointed. See, there's no attachment then. If it's that pure, like, this is such a silly idea. Like, if you're like...
That is silly.
Right? If you're like, I'm going to start being hired at birthday parties and dress like, Cheech from Cheech and Chong or whatever. And you just go one day and you're like, okay, I'm just going to be hired as Cheech. And I'm constantly looking for Chong at the party. And you get hired for that hour. It's like, hey, man, where's Chong, man? Where is he, man? He's supposed to be here. And then bam, and there it is, brand new job. So, like, what you're talking about, man, there are people who would gravitate towards that.
Well, dude, if I could get to the right people, because, dude, I've met so many people that I've done it for friends, dude, that they did military, they did college. They did everything the right way, and they don't know how to party. And now they want to let loose. And I guided so many people into it. They were like, Jason, I love you. You did me so good. I was never worried.
You're offering them this alternate, an additional perspective, an enlightenment.
Like, let me wake you up a little bit, because a lot of them, like, fucking, they get that perspective of being woke.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. When you got that 9-to-5 job, and let's say you wake up every morning and watch the news, you go to sleep each night and watch the news. All day long, you're watching the pre-programmed stuff. You have basically no choice but to be stuck in that matrix. Right? So when you turn off the TV for 15 years, or even just 1 week, you'll notice your health dramatically. And it's so crazy because I have, I'll watch Netflix, I'll watch YouTube, stuff like that. But it's mostly just, where do I want to go? And what's so crazy is, like, I'm not basing my conversations on what I'm hearing in the news. I'm basing my conversations on learning about what makes this person's, what are their favorite hobbies, their talents, and then how do we turn up the volume on that? How do we add more? How do we allow them to really shine that thing? And it's so fun because when that happens and you see someone really doing the best they can, oh my God, and it's so great.
You helped them get that to that place?
Yes, and it's like, and you see that
that's the win for me.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun to share the information. It's so fulfilling to hear the information.
Like, I feel complete when I fucking teach people and they're in these mundane worlds, and I'm like, no, there's this other world. And as long as you're not out of control, there's a place for you.
I like that attitude. Like, why not give it a try? Why not treat it as a joke?
Yeah.
No, that's killer. I love
just
that.
Like, it's a cosmic joke. Let's go ahead for it.
Yeah. Because worst case scenario, maybe nobody laughs at the joke, but you still gave us some effort.
Dude, and that's like the Andy Kaufman route. That unapologetic, just here's what's happening, and you can either co-sign on this reality or not. But those who do, see, that's the beacon. That's what's beautiful about things like this. Each person is a beacon, like saying, hey, I'm here. We can all just go ahead and just start right at ground zero talking about synchronicities and stirring the cosmic soup. Yeah. And it feels so good. That's what I mostly ever want to talk about, ever.
Dude, it's so hard because so many people don't. And it's like, once you get that one guy that you're like, yeah, let's pick each other's brain. You're like, no. You're like, fuck yeah, dude.
And you just keep unpacking it.
Because what is it, 1 out of fucking 90, maybe? If you're lucky. We're in Boise. There's not very many people. But, like, that you can get that super, like, where you're just immediately like, yeah, we're on the same page. What do you think about this? And you can really bounce things off each other. You're like, oh, my God.
Well, and this just spawned an idea. from the third eye blipping on the antenna here is that, so, okay, you know, like with Meetup, I'm sure these are already out there already. Or like, you know, I hear about your guys' Facebook groups. Since everybody knows that this is the vibration that is really, you know, it's like putting your finger on source, on what source energy really truly is, that love, that appreciation. You don't want to leave, you don't want to get out of there. But that's part, you know, and then you know that's just a part of it. You got to go out there and you got to bring that light to the people, and then you know, kind of wake those folks up. So I'm thinking out in Boise, Idaho, is since we already know the 311 crowd is a safe zone, you know, maybe there is a 311 meetup.
Totally.
Group. Where you go and you're like, oh my God, you know, and now you can have these kick-ass conversations. You know that's the safe zone. There's nothing, you know, more exciting than when you can really geek out or talk shop with someone who knows that realm. You know, gearheads, frickin' whatever, guys who love sports, swimming. You know, yeah, whatever your pleasure, and it's great when you can just go dive deeply.
So, as you could tell in that segment from the 311 cruise, you could tell I had a few drinks. This is what one calls Gonzo journalism. Gonzo journalism. If you look that up, you'll find the journalist Hunter S. Thompson in there somewhere. He ended up becoming an author. If you ever see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, that movie is based off a book by Hunter S. Thompson and his crazy exploits for Rolling Stone magazine. He used to write for Rolling Stone magazine. They'd send him out to do various assignments, and he'd get into these crazy situations and write all about the crazy situations and not actually write about the event that he was sent out to cover. So, yeah, I gotta tell you, if you ever get a chance to be on a 311 cruise, try to do it. If you were able to sit through the past conversation, I know there's a lot going on. I was asking a lot of you there, folks, to sit tight and to listen to a whole bunch of madness. If you made it this far, congratulations, and I applaud you. Thank you. I know it was very convoluted. It was kind of a, if you think about it, it was kind of a choose-your-own-adventure kind of storyline, wasn't it? Because there were so many different thoughts and opinions and conversations going on. It reminds me of the play Balm in Gilead. Balm in Gilead is a play where there are about 20 or 30 characters in it, and they're all talking at the same time. It's like you're peering into the life of a diner, and it's kind of what this is. Sure, you can hear what questions I'm asking the people. Sure, that's one part of it. However, if you listen back, there are all these other little conversations that are going on between people that you're just not, that you could end up being surprised by, because you're hearing various subjects that maybe relate directly to something that's going on in your life at this moment in time. Maybe revelations you've recently had, dreams you woke up from, any number of, let's say, synchronicities that you recently experienced. That's what I've been noticing lately with this podcast. The more that I'm tuning into my intuition and letting the information flow, I'm getting interesting feedback from people of basically that they are relating to these things on cosmic levels. I'm your cosmic reporter here, folks. Yes, I report on what's going on with the humans here on the Earthlings, here on the big blue marble. I also report the bleeps and the bloops that reach my antenna. I try to reach my fingers in as deep into the pulse of all that is as much as I can and as often as I can. I'm willing to go out on the limbs, and I'm nowhere near in the realm of, let's say, someone like Terrence McKenna or Alan Watts, but I do make it my mission to do that, folks. So thank you for hanging on. Also, if you want to contribute any of your own stories, field recordings, music, you can email it to inspiradoprojecto@gmail.com. And you can also send it to inspiradoprojecto@gmail.com. Or if you prefer to use the telephone, you can call the hotline, the Inspirado Projecto hotline. Sometimes we call it Inspirado Comunicado. Sometimes we call it Inspirado Participado. It's all up to you. You call 561-203-9179. And yeah, I'll upload it to the episode. So thank you for listening, and I'm sure there's probably more to come after this segment.
What did I just miss the safety meeting? You're right here for it. It's wafting in. Did I just miss the safety meeting, Stoney?
I not that I know of.
Can't you smell it?
I can't smell it.
Chaz had a safety meeting with himself.
He's safe to fight it. An idea for a midlife crisis hotline. Midlife crisis hotline. So when people are going through that special time in their life, they could pick up the phone. The person on the other end will either give them reassuring sentences, or even direct them towards some of the best things that they can do for their midlife crisis. Stuff that can help them out. Something that can help them out during that special time in their lives. And maybe they also make the what is it that women go through? Oh gosh, what is that? They go through the hormone thing. What is it? What is that? So yeah, the same makers of Midlife Crisis Hotline.
Alright, we ready? I don't know where Willie is.
They also... I think his room is 153.
No,
Isn't it?
He's right next door to you, man.
154?